In this video, we'll discuss customer alerts and relationships. First, we'll talk about customer alerts. Alerts can be configured when updating a customer. I'll choose the customer and go to Update Customer. Scrolling down on this page, there's a section for Available Alert Subscriptions. Once the system has changed a job to a particular status, it will fire off an alert. The status can be selected here, and then clicking the right arrow to add it to this list. So in this configuration, an alert will be sent when a job invoice gets set to the booked status and also when it gets set to the paid status. We can see the list of statuses in that workflow by going to the home page, going to Settings, going to Job Settings, and then going to Job Statuses. These are the statuses that are part of the job workflow. This is the same list of statuses that we saw on the previous page. A job status can be edited by clicking Available Actions and then clicking Update Job Status. We can also customize the job status alert. From here, we can see the message that is being sent. Now we can edit the message. Note that there are these placeholder strings like this. This uses the same mechanism called template tags that we talked about in the video about document templates and types. A placeholder like this is called a template tag. When the message is sent, it will be replaced with the real data. And so when this message is being sent, it will be replaced by your company's name. Now, I'll go back to the customer that we were editing. These are the custom fields that we discussed on the main video about customers. Here is a section for phone numbers. This option accepts job status updates at this number, pertains to these job status alerts we've been talking about. We can use this button to add a phone number, and we can add as many entries as needed. Next, there's an email section. This option accepts job status updates at this email, refers to the job status alerts we've been talking about. We can use this Add Email button to add as many entries as needed. Another way to send alerts, instead of adding the contact information here, is to split the person out into a separate customer, and then link that newly created customer with the property. That way, the status alerts that are sent can be controlled more precisely. In general, if we split into multiple customers, we get more control on which notifications are being sent. That brings us to our next topic, which is how customers are linked with properties. We'll talk about customer relationships. By relationships, we mean these links between customers and properties. A customer can be linked to many properties, and likewise, a property can be linked to many customers. For example, there could be more than one property manager customer working at one property. There's a way to see all of the properties associated with a customer. I'll go to the list of customers. Here, we have a customer that's named Boulevard Residential. I'll go to Available Actions and then click All Properties. This will show a list of all the properties that have a link to this customer. As the text says here, these properties are related in some fashion to the customer, but are not necessarily billed to them. To see what the relationship is, I can go to Available Actions and then click Update Property. When I scroll down, I'll look for the customer on this page. I can see here that this customer has the relationship type Property Manager. I'll go back and view for another. I'll search for the customer on this page. The customer is here. In this case, they're listed as a facility manager and not as a property manager. This is just a different label. It works the same way in the system. Now I'll view another property and view another relationship. And I'll search for the customer on this page. In this case, we can see that the relationship type is primary. This works very similarly to being listed as a property manager, but it means that this is the customer whose information will show up at the top of forms and pages. Unlike being listed as property manager or facility manager, primary can only be selected once, and so for a property, there's only one customer that's listed as the primary. There's one last note to talk about. I'll go back to the main properties list. Since there could be multiple customers associated with a property, we want to make sure that we're sending the bill to the right person. For example, if this was a landlord who owned the property and they're responsible for the maintenance, the tenant and the landlord both might have relationships with the property, but we would want to select the landlord as the financial party. What we can do is, on this properties list, we can go to Available Actions, and then use this button, Update Financially Responsible Party. From here, we can use this list, this drop-down menu, to change the financially responsible party. This sets up that customer as the financial party as a default when an invoice is created. Later, when the invoice is being made, there's an option to change it if that's needed. In this video, we talked about customer alerts, and we showed how relationships are set up between customers and properties.